we've noticed even within like our small friend group that home births are like going through the roof. Like, um, people just want a more natural way to do things. Um,
Especially in COVID, home births have skyrocketed, birth center births have skyrocketed, and it's one of the many good things that have come out of people just questioning things.
sure.
Does it have to be done this way? In some situations, absolutely. There is a time and a place for the medical model of obstetric care. And there's much more time and place, statistically speaking, for the midwifery model. Um, and so I'm grateful for that. Um, in our area specifically, we don't have enough midwives to support the need right now. Um, all of the midwives in our area are turning people away because they don't have enough. There's not enough time in the day to serve these women. So if it's not them, then they have to choose a hospital birth and um, hope for the best. Uh, Essentially. And I mean that in the most supportive way. I don't mean that you can't have empowering, um, informed hospital births that meet all of your dreams. It's just harder to do it.
Sure.
Um,
You're
so
on their terms, not your own.
yeah,
Yeah.
yep. And you have to fight for it in a way that you shouldn't have to, but you do. Um, you have to fight for it, and you have to have a vast amount of knowledge and resources that the average person doesn't have, which is why doulas are so important and why statistically we reduce the risk of all kinds of interventions during labor and delivery. Um, to have that third party person there that's like, do you feel comfortable with this plan? Would you like to hear of some alternatives to this? To even just facilitate that conversation with a provider,
Sure.
because so much of it is just routine. Like, okay, like a flow chart. This happens, water breaks, it's been this many hours, we're going to induce with Pitocin. Are there any other options? What are the risks of us not doing anything? Can we wait and see? Even just to have those conversations is important and can totally change the trajectory of um, a labor. So I think doulas are neat. That's the end of that.
I I think in, I don't know, 200, 500 years, people are going to look back and be like, we used to have babies in like facilities like the Matrix or something. Like, you're a farm or something.
Mm-hmm.
You're only good for pumping out more slaves or something. I don't know. Like, um
You used to give birth in a box of germs. Why would you do
yeah.
that? Why wouldn't you be at home? For the most part, right? Yeah.
Yeah. And the other thing is like, I'm now, are people saving money by having home births instead of being burdened by like a 10, 20, $30,000 hospital bill?
Yeah, absolutely. The problem is some people are saving money, and then most people find that they're paying out of pocket more than their insurance would cover for birth in the hospital. So, like for us specifically, our delivery with Ted, just like standard hospital induction, was um, $16,000 before insurance, but we had to meet a deductible and then an out-of-pocket max. So we ended up spending $5,600 on that, which was more than our home birth was. Some people don't have a deductible, don't have any of the out-of-pocket stuff that we did, so they would be paying like $0 for the hospital birth and have to pay out of pocket for the home birth. But then you have to look at like more, you're paying more for the hospital birth than just currency. Like you're paying for us, for the way it went for us, like we're paying therapy bills to deal with birth trauma that has
Mm.
taken a long time to resolve. We've
You could pay for medical bills for your kids if they don't develop a good nursing relationship, or
it's got to be all the soft outcomes that are included in that, and not just this is how many dollars it costs. And that's like true for all of holistic health being most of the time not covered by insurance. Like for me as a dietitian, I don't accept insurance. And that's a really big sticking point for people because they're like, well, I could go see a dietitian in the hospital and pay $20 for a copay or whatever. And I'm like, okay, then maybe that's a better fit.
Sure.
But you're going to get a completely different thing from me than you are the hospital dietitian that goes by the USDA guidelines. And there's more value in things than just money.
Right.
And
Sure.
it's hard
Not
for
not
us
everything is tangible. Yeah, sure.
yeah. Yeah. And it's hard for us as holistic practitioners, therapists, acupuncturists, chiropractors, all of these people that are not covered, and it makes it hard for people to access us. But it also seems like because it's not covered under insurance that we're asking an exorbitant amount of money for our services, which is not the case. If I took insurance, I would have to charge people double what I charge right now. And I might not ever see the insurance payout. It takes forever
Jeez.
for that to happen. So I've had friends and colleagues that have done that, and they're like, it's cash pay or nothing. I can't do this anymore. So yeah, it's interesting.
That is interesting.